Okay, good morning. What I would like to do this morning is connect a couple of things. I want to connect the experience of the arising of vedana, of feeling tone, pleasant or unpleasant. I wanted to connect that with abundance and scarcity, and with the Brahma Viharas, all as part of the work that we do in mindfulness, the work that we do in order to move our practice in an intentional direction as our practice develops over time. And one aspect that is sort of easy to express is that the Brahma Viharas, which is love, compassion, joy, and equanimity, are boundless, immeasurable. They are the very sort of reality of abundance. All of those qualities, those abidings, are everywhere and every when. They are, that's why they're called the four immeasurables. And so the Brahma Viharas are the very opposite of scarcity. So there is a sutta that I've quoted before, called From Feeling. And in that sutta, the Buddha says this: feeling conditions craving. And what is meant by that is every time one of our senses makes contact, you see a tree, you hear a dog bark, you think about, what you're going to be doing later today. Every single time a sense organ makes contact, feeling arises together with the actual sense experience. Feeling is part of the sense experience in this way. And for the most part, we are reactive, responsive to feelings that really stimulate us. And the feelings can be either pleasant or unpleasant, or maybe not so stimulating, in which case they're neutral. And a stimulating experience that is pleasant creates the craving for that pleasant experience to exist, to continue to be woven into a sense of what our lives are about. If a particular sense experience, if the feeling accompanying that sense experience is unpleasant, then we crave for it to not exist, to not be part of our lives. Either we want to go away or we want it to go away, this sense experience. And so this craving then conditions seeking. We're seeking a way to make that happen. We're seeking, if it's pleasant, a way to keep it. And if it's unpleasant, we're seeking a way to get rid of it. And this seeking conditions acquisition. As we're sort of going through our files of ways to keep something present or ways to get rid of something, we acquire a means. We come up with an idea, a process, a technique, a way, usually one that's quite habitual. Usually we're turning things over to a habit, which is what we're acquiring. And in this process of moving from feeling to craving to seeking a solution to acquiring what seems to be a solution, we are narrowing down. We're getting our attention, the focus of what we are conscious of, continually gets narrower. And having acquired a method, a plan, an idea, this acquisition conditions discriminating. Discriminating, I sought to acquire a plan, I've acquired it, this is the plan, everything else is not the plan. We're discriminating. So everything else now is not the focus of my attention. This acquisition is the focus of my attention. Narrower. And this discriminating, this choosing what is the focus of my attention, conditions desire and passion. We get excited. Looks like we got an answer here. Looks like we got a way to take care of this. I can get rid of this unpleasant experience. I can hang on to this pleasant experience. And the desire and passion, the excitement, conditions possessiveness. This is mine. This is my answer. Coming up with this is who I am, is what I am. And possessiveness conditions scarcity. Because having acquired that which we have acquired and discriminating, putting aside everything else that is part of life, to focus very specifically and narrowly on this, on what we have acquired, what the result of what we were seeking. And now we're excited about it, and we think of it as, I done good, I got what I wanted, or what I didn't want. And now we're in an incredibly narrow place, where in that narrow place, in that sort of bubble that we have created, it seems like we have succeeded. We have succeeded in creating a world that fits what we had wanted, or creating a world that fits what we didn't want. The problem is, given that we created the world out of like an ever-narrowing focus of our attention, of what we are conscious of, the world that we have created, this narrow place, is unfortunately not separate from the rest of the world. It is, in fact, being impacted by the rest of the world all the time. And so this lovely place that you've created, where you have solved the question of wanting or not wanting, of a response to pleasant or unpleasant, you have solved this. And you're sitting there, and then the phone rings and the whole thing falls apart, or you have another thought. Well, this is fine, but what about? And the next thing you know, it's all, it just falls apart, and you're left with a sense of loss. This is the Buddha's teaching on the cycle of dependent origination. So this process of moving from feeling to scarcity is a process of moving away from, or ignoring really, the reality of abundance. The reality of abundance is the total and complete interactive nature of everything that is, which you are a part of, which you are. You are that interaction of everything that is. And when you get into a place of scarcity, you're separate from that, which, since the reality is that you are connected, the sense of being separate is a delusion. And it can't hold up because it's not reality. So the question then is, what should we do in our practice to work with this? Well, one of my favorite phrases for my practice, and I guess for teaching, is Christina Feldman's simple statement, withdraw consent. Very simply, you're sitting, you're meditating, you're paying attention to sense contact. A sound arises, a thought arises, a sensation in the body arises. And you notice, because that's what you're doing, is you're being mindful, you're paying attention. And with the arising of contact with the thought, contact with the sound, contact with the sensation in the body, arises feeling. And from feeling is this very easy move toward a narrowing down, a move in the direction of scarcity. If we want to withdraw consent from that move in the direction of scarcity, we need support. And that support is present in the form of that which is boundless and immeasurable. In the form of that which is boundless and immeasurable. Because if it's boundless and immeasurable, it's really not conducive to narrowing down. It's conducive to expanding, to spaciousness, to seeing things as they actually are, interconnected. these boundless and immeasurable qualities, abodes, places to be, to rest in, to move what our attention is focusing on, to bring our consciousness into awareness of the Brahma Viharas. We can choose if there is a contact, a sense contact, a thought, a sound, a sensation that is unpleasant. We can turn to compassion. The compassion that says, we are living beings. We are of a nature to experience unpleasant. Don't get all excited. Don't allow desire and passion to get rid of this unpleasant to become the guiding force. Let compassion be the guiding force. Yeah, this is uncomfortable. This is not what I would prefer. But it is part of reality. It is part of being alive, to have unpleasant experiences, unpleasant sense contact. And maybe you even slip into a little bit of joy. The joy of knowing that you're seeing this occurring, that your mindfulness has developed to the point where you notice unpleasant arising. That's really a great thing to be joyous about. You have developed. You have built this skill. What a fantastic something or another. It really is. And when pleasant feeling arises, and you want to hold on to it, you want to keep it, you want to make it part of your self-identity, you want it to be yours, this pleasant experience. What a benefit resting in the abode of love would be. To just sit there, feeling the connection, the beauty of the connection to all beings, to everything. To seeing this moment of sense contact as just one of an infinite array of possibilities that you are a part of, that you are experiencing. And the fact that it's pleasant as just sort of, you can spread that pleasant feeling out generously to all beings. You can offer it as a gift, internally and externally, to gift everything in experience with the pleasure of pleasant experience. You don't have to grasp it and possess it and defend it. You can share it. And perhaps in the development of mindfulness, in your very practice, you develop some of the quality of equanimity, and you can abide equanimous, allowing every experience, pleasant or unpleasant, or neutral, to be just as it is. To respond to each uniquely. Equanimity is not sameness. It's the recognition of each distinct experience as it actually is. Not to get lost in some experiences and to ignore some experiences. Not to try to make some experiences who I am and some experiences not who I am. Just to allow each experience to be present and to respond to it in a manner that feels wholesome, heart-opening, connecting, boundless and immeasurable. Knowing that each experience is just the form that is taking place in the abundance of life. So this is what I want to practice this morning. Practice being mindful, being conscious of the arising of feeling, co-arising with each sense experience. That's the primary work. Being conscious of the arising of feeling that arises with each sense experience. And then, as the craving arises, as the wanting the pleasant experience to remain, wanting the unpleasant experience to go away, wanting the neutral experience to be more stimulating. As this wanting arises, to withdraw consent from taking that into a place of scarcity, and with intention to focus on abundance, on the immeasurable and boundless qualities of love, compassion, joy, and equanimity. So let's practice this.